everybody. Let's talk about everything happened on March 25th. We are deep into the regular season, and we got 10 games left. The first game is the Orlando Magic beat the Charlotte Hornets. Magic is going to play all their guys because they're in a good situation. They're fighting for seventh seed, right? It matters. They have home court, and they definitely do not want to fall to the ninth seed. So Pablo Banchero, of course, when you play Charlotte Hornets, you're gonna eat. 32 points for him, 7 rebounds, 6 assists. But this guy next year, when you draft him, make sure that you're punting multiple categories. You definitely want to punt free throw. Field goal, maybe, there's some games he's okay. And then he has a lot of turnovers. But counting number-wise, as we all know, he's really good. A lot of points, a lot of rebound, and a lot of assists. Fred Wagner had 26 points with decent efficiency from the free throw line, but 8 for 22. Corey Joseph played 18 minutes. He had some streaming value if there's a back-to-back, but this game they decided to go with Anthony Black. They gave him more minutes, who had 20 points off the bench, 1 steal and 2 blocks. If there's a back-to-back for Magic, which I don't know if they still do, but maybe like Anthony Black and Corey Joseph, right? You could consider them those point guards for some assists and some other things. KCP plays his 20. Yeah, pretty horrible game for KCP. And Wendell Carter Jr. grabbed 11 rebounds. Only stream him for some rebounds. The guy doesn't really have too much value. For the Charlotte Hornets, LaMelo, that's great. They're still playing him huge minutes. 25 points and 9 assists. Not huge minutes. I mean, he's still playing. Hit 3 threes, 9 assists, 25 points. Mark Williams had a big one with 13 rebounds, 2 steals. This is why we like Mark Williams in fantasy, because whenever he's healthy, whenever he's playing, he's putting up big numbers like this. So pretty good. And Miles Bridges struggled again, 5 for 19, 11 points, 6 rebounds, and 4 assists. Not much going on with Charlotte Hornets in terms of fantasy. Let's look at the next one, the Spurs and Detroit, 96-122. Both teams, Detroit clearly trying to win, while the Spurs, CP3 still had 21 minutes, still giving you 2 steals and a block. Yeah, if you need assists and steals, and they have a good schedule, yeah, you could have Chris Paul. But if they have one game, or they have 2 games in the next 5-6 days, then definitely you stream him and you drop him. Stephon Castle, if you need counting numbers, he's still giving you that 19 points and 4 assists with a steal is okay. And Devin Vassell, they playing him huge minutes, even though there was a 26-point loss. 26 points and 6 threes, that's great. You could have him for points and threes and some defensive stats. But it's tanking season for the Spurs. All the guys off the bench, we should not be trusting. For Detroit, All-Star Thompson played 27 minutes, had 2 steals. Tobias Harris, for whatever reason, been getting a lot of defensive stats. And yeah, in the short term, right, we don't have Kate Cunningham. I don't know what's going on. So Dennis Schroeder, even though he did not have the best game here, he had 4 fouls. We definitely want to stream him for points and assists. Right, Malik Beasley now become, of course he didn't play well here, but 13 points, 2 threes. Without Kate Cunningham, we're waiting for a game where he just pops off. Like Marcus Sasser is the one who went off for 27 points. We could also stream him next game, but it's just not guaranteed that he's gonna get big minutes. He obviously played really well, so he got some extra minutes. Move on to the next one. The Warriors, they really need Curry. They just don't have any offense without him. 86-112. They got destroyed by the Heat. Podziemski, with Curry out for sure, he's a must roster. Even with Curry in, he's been getting 30-plus minutes. He's a pretty unique fantasy asset. Really good counting numbers, give you some points, threes, rebound, assists, right? Chipping some defensive stats as well. Jimmy Butler, pretty rough game, 11 points and 1 steal. That's really it. This is supposed to be a revenge game, but yeah, Warriors as a whole play horrible. Draymond also play very horrible. Quinton Post, who's been starting, you could definitely stream him for threes if they start the guy. If he gets 25, 30 minutes, there's a very high likely chance he's going to hit 2 threes. Maybe he can give you a block. If you need 3s and block, he's the guy that you could definitely stream. Jonathan Kuminga, I don't think they trust him really. He just come off the bench, give you some scoring, that's it, right? Kurt doesn't trust him. He doesn't really have a lot of playmaking. He doesn't have a lot of I don't know defender if he's a good defender. But when I look at his plus minus, so many games he has good numbers, but the plus minus is just not good. But they're still keeping him. They haven't traded him, so you know they need Curry back ASAP. For the Heat, Tyler Hero, great, 20 points, 7 assists, 4 for 4 from the free throw line, from the three. But ever since Wiggins got there, I think his usage has taken a pretty big dip. Kevin Webb, versus a small Warriors team, he played well, 14 points and 10 rebounds and 7 for 11. But we really need more defensive stats out of him. Next year will be interesting. If next year, this is a guy that I might take a little bit higher because another year. I don't know, he's a rookie, right? Maybe this summer he could, for him, really sky is the limit because he can't even shoot threes, right? And obviously the center, right? These prototype of guys big guys that can block shots and shoot threes. And for him, right, he's also young. Who knows? Maybe he can get you a bit, some assists and steals as well. So he has a lot of upside, I think, going into next year if the Miami Heat doesn't get any other big man, or they decided to go with him, start him and Bam Adebayo. Bam Adebayo, power forward, great, 27 points, but I would say overall disappointing. Should really, shouldn't trust him too much next year. And Andrew Wiggins, great, two minutes is a little bit low, but 5 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 threes, 2 steals, and 3 blocks. Great. Since he got traded on this team, I think he's been putting up decent numbers. For Wiggins. Let's go to the next one. We have the Dallas Mavericks. I don't know why they even have AD back. I mean, just punt the season away, to be honest. I don't know. It's weird. I mean, they're half game behind Phoenix right now. Do they want to make the plays if AD is healthy? Maybe they're still trying to win. Do they have their picks? I'm not sure. If they don't, I guess they don't really have a reason to, Anyway, Spencer Dinwiddie need to be rostered. Brandon Williams need to be rostered in the meantime as well. Had 22 points, right? Najee Marshall, needless to say, he popped off another game with PJ Washington out, 38 points and 1-3. He took 25 shots, so that's all great for him. But we should be monitoring the Mavericks injury report. If AD is back, right, some of those guys, they don't become as attractive. Like Kai Jones right now, you could even stream him for some rebound and blocks as long as he's starting. Had 8 rebound, a and block here, pretty good. But for Mavs, it's really funny season. Clay, if you don't need threes, automatic drop. You don't need to think. You don't really need to think. Some games where he go off with 6 threes, but like I say, if you don't need threes, he really doesn't give you anything else. And Max Christie, he had some hype the first couple games, but has been horrible since. Here had 6 points. And not much else. For the New York Knicks, Cat had a triple-double. That's amazing. 11 assists and a steal, 2 threes, but somehow missed a bunch of free throws. That's okay. Mikal Bridges, 21 points. That's fine. 2 threes, but just doesn't have anything else. 1 rebound, 1 assist. 1 block is okay. OG Anunoby also versus somewhat. I mean, Mavs supposed to be good defensively, but he had 35 points, and Josh Hart had a triple-double. They're playing all their starters high minutes, even versus this Mavericks team. So it is concerning for the Knicks if they go deep in the playoffs, how much gas they have in the tank. Because all their guys is playing such high minutes during the regular season. In a game like this, I really would give Cat, right? You have Mitchell Robinson. Oh, they don't have Mitchell Robinson here. But give Mitchell Robinson a few more minutes. You're going to be okay. And to be honest, for the Knicks, I know they don't like to rest their players, but right now, they're not going to catch the 2nd seed, right? They're 3 games ahead of the Pacers. I really hope they start resting some of those guys as we get to the last week of the regular season. The next game is the Atlanta Hawks. They beat Houston Rockets. No, Houston Rockets beat them 121-114. Sure, the Hawks, they went on the run recently. They're 7-3 in their last. Can they catch up to the Detroit? No, they just want to stay at the 7th seed, which is important because they will have the home court in the play-ins. But they're gonna end up playing the Celtics, which is fine. I mean, no expectation for this team to really go deep. But the Hawks team, when you look at the roster, they do have, I don't know how well they match up, but like Dyson Daniels, another amazing game with 10 assists, 8 rebounds, 4 steals, and 3 threes. Trae Young, 19 points and 12 rebounds. Great. Okongwu, right? He's been amazing. 15 rebounds and 14 points and 2 threes. Next year, Okongwu, another guy that I'm pretty high on, but you obviously don't want to overdraft him. But he's shown us as a center, right? Free throw might be an issue, but he can hit threes, right? He can get you steals. He can get you assists, maybe average 3 assists a game. Maybe not the best field goal guy because he takes a lot of outside shots, but yeah, pretty good. And Ricochet plays just 22 minutes. They have quality guys coming off the bench like Georgios Nian or Terrence Mann. So they don't need to give Ricochet too many minutes. He had 18 points, which is fine. For the Rockets, Jalen Green went off, played 40 minutes, 32 points, 11 rebounds, and 1 3 is good enough. Fred VanVleet had 21 points and 3 threes, but no defensive stats and only 3 assists. Fred VanVleet on this team, he's just not getting a lot of assists. Şengün is getting a lot, right? Jalen Green is getting some. Şengün had 18 points, didn't really shoot the ball that well, but the counting numbers look still fine. 9 rebounds and still in a block. Taro Eason grabbed 15 rebounds and 10 points. Taro Eason, Jabari Smith Jr., right? It depends who's playing well. The person is going to get more minutes. Amen Thompson's still out. So I would roster both. But again, depend what you need. Jabari Smith, if you need rebounds and threes and some points, you could have him, right? Taro Eason is rebound and defensive stats. Moving on to the next one, we have the Grizzlies and the Utah Jazz. This has been funny. It's been funny season for Jazz for a while now. 140, 103. They don't need Scottie Pippen Jr. They've been starting him. I think as long as Ja Morant is out, right, you need assist. He's the guy. 10 assists here is great. Desmond Bane had 21 points and 2 threes. And Jaren Jackson Jr. had 19 points. The minutes are pretty low for these guys because, they just blew them out. Santi Aldama had 9 points, 5 rebounds, and 3 assists. That's also fine. I think as long as they're starting him, right, he has some good value because the minutes kind of low. Jalen Wells did a bit of everything, 6 rebounds, 5 assists, and 10 points, yeah. Jalen Wells and Santi Aldama, right, with guys out, they have some value. Jalen Wells is doing the Aldama can actually provide some points and rebounds as well. For the Jazz, who do you stream on this team? They play Walker Kessler, that's great, 28 minutes here, 7 points and 9 rebounds. Filipowski, I like him a lot, but they only give him 24 minutes here, and he only took 6 shots. But he's a big that can block shots, can get you some steals, some assists, some rebound, kind of like Kelly Olynyk type of player, right? So next year, I don't know. They still have John Collins on the roster. It's like he may not get enough minutes, but Jazz could be in the same situation next year, and then maybe he can have a more consistent role, right? Cody Williams, brother of Jalen Williams, not really good fantasy here. And Isaiah Collier had 21 points. He had a great game here. But you really have him for some assists. Keontae George was pretty horrible. Bryce Sansabar hit 3 threes. Yeah. Just funny season. But Filipowski really is the best option. I feel like the other guys, you just don't know how many minutes they're going to get. And they don't really have a guy that can provide a lot of defensive stats. So even when they get 30 minutes, it really, it doesn't matter too much. Like, can they actually provide you good enough value even when they get 30 minutes? And I don't think so on the Jazz. The next one is the Cleveland Cavaliers. They struggled. They lost like 4 straight games. But they started winning some games since. We look at Darius Garland. Yeah, 27 points, 8 assists. Usually Portland does a pretty good job on point guards, but Garland still popped off here, 58% from the field. That's good. And how about Ty Jerome? 25 points off the bench, 4 for 5 from 3 in just 21 minutes. He is like, if Garland is out, they give him 30 minutes. He's a must stream for that day. Yeah, just really good. He's actually really, really good and fit perfectly on this team. DeAndre Hunter, you could stream him for some points. That's really it. But he doesn't seem to get a lot of minutes on this team, to be honest. Like they starting this guy Sam Morrow, who hit 4 threes, 14 points, right? Max Shoes, they got a lot of 3-and-D guys, and then you have Mobley, who had 4 blocks and 21 points. That's really good. And Jarrett Allen chipped in 14 points and 8 rebounds. Yeah, this team is just very well balanced. Like nobody's having a super high usage. They spread the ball really well. Guys know their role, right? They got a bunch of snipers. They shot 44% from 3 this game. For Portland, Danny Advia has been balling. Not the best shooting night, but 10 rebounds, 6 assists, and 3 threes, and provide a bunch of peripheral stats. That's great. Anthony Simon he's really hot and cold. 1 for 10 from 3, 8 assists, 7 points. Pretty disappointing, but like if you need points and threes, you can still have him. Shaden Sharp had 18 points. If you need 3 points, yeah, you could have this guy. And Donovan Killigan, he's been killing it actually. He's been playing a lot better the last couple games. Had 12 rebounds, 8 offensive rebounds, and still in 3 blocks, and somehow hit 2 threes. So who knows? Next season, if they start him, he started jacking up those threes. That would be pretty crazy, to be honest. And Tomani Kamara, very solid with 3 steals and 2 blocks. Scoot Henderson came off the bench, had 18 points, 6 rebounds, 6 assists, and 2 threes. If he's on the waiver wire, it is a back-to-back. You could also use him. Moving on to the last game of the night, we have Sacramento Kings. Lost to Oklahoma City Thunder. Honestly, the Kings, right, they're the 9th seed. They're barely holding on, to be honest. They lost 4 straight. If it wasn't for the Mavericks, right, they'll be. I would still take Kings and Phoenix over Mavericks, but they still want to have home court, right? They want to be the 9th seed. Phoenix is, they won 4 straight, while the Kings lost 4 straight. Not too much. He lost to Shea, that's okay. 32 points for Shea, 9 for 10 from the free throw line. I just worry like Shea in the playoffs. If he doesn't get to the line as much, right? As we can see, like last couple games, right? It's big games. Like his shooting percentage versus the Clippers was no good. Here, 44%, right? If it wasn't for him hitting a bunch of threes, right, the line is not going to look as pretty, and no defensive stats. Isaiah Hartenstein, 2 blocks, 10 rebounds, pretty solid. And Shea Holmgren had 18 points and 2 steals. And of course, they don't have their second best player or third best player, Jalen Williams. That, with him in the lineup, that's obviously going to help Shea. Lou Dort had 3 threes, 13 points, a steal and a block. Pretty solid. He's always a guy that you could stream for some 3-and-D. And you have Isaiah Joe came off the bench. Yeah, if there's a back-to-back, Isaiah Joe, Casey Wallace, right, you need 3-and-D, right? You never know. One of these guys could pop up for 5 threes in one of those games. For the Kings, DeMar DeRozan, another pretty rough game with 10 points, a steal and a block. Keegan Murray actually went off for 9 threes, 28 points, a steal and 3 blocks. When he go off like this, still not enough versus Oklahoma City. They actually shot 48% from 3 this game, but it still was not enough to beat OKC. And this really wasn't close either, right? 121-105. DeMar is really, and Zach LaVine, right? Like, they got Zach LaVine. I know they don't have Malik Monk, but offensively, you would feel like, they have enough firepower versus anybody. Offensively, it's hard to guard these guys. But when DeMar is shooting 4 for 15, it's rough. Zach LaVine had 19 points, is okay. And Keon Ellis, he popped off. Like, you can definitely stream him for defensive stats with Monk out. Right. Sabonis also a pretty rough game with 12 rebounds, but 3 for 12 on the field. That's it, guys. I'll see you tomorrow.